MLT Group Project by the best team ever. For this month's group project, we teamed ourselves up in the beginning of the course with people in our cohort. Our focus this month was on multiple learning theories, or MLT, and our topic was how to improve learner engagement. In the article Lessons from a Student Engagement Pilot Study, Benefits for Students and Academics, Arian Wood said that better learning outcomes flow from higher levels of student engagement. 2011. Let me introduce you to our group members. This is Karen. She teaches a 3rd grade ESE class and was brave enough to be our official applied researcher. Karen's job was to conduct research within her own classroom by teaching lessons which incorporated something new in her learning environment to improve student engagement. She chose to use an active board to deliver math lessons which were inspired by IXL.com, a website that offers unlimited access to all grade levels with extensive exposure to each math concept that supports both left brain and right brain dominant learners. This is Melinda and this is Sam. They were both formal researchers. Their job was to conduct research using the internet to locate any peer-reviewed or scholarly work that supported our topic. Upon extensive searching, they found some amazing journals, periodicals, and articles supporting the topic. Lastly, this is me. My name is Jessica, and I definitely wore many hats for this project. I was the APA specialist, the meeting facilitator and note-taker, the media specialist and narrator, and as you might have guessed, I gathered the sources that our formal researchers had obtained and I condensed them into a reference page using the APA guidelines. In addition, I scheduled all group meetings, which were held in any available EMDT collaborative room, updated the to-do list and the calendar on Wigio, was the official note-taker for the team, and pieced together our final multimedia presentation using iMovie. As work was completed, all members of the group posted videos, photographs, Word documents, and keynote updates on Wigio so that each group member could stay informed and be up to date on the status of our project. When we weren't in Wimba or on Wigio, we were exchanging information via email. Here's where our journey began. Since we are all teachers, we discussed different scenarios in our classrooms that involved student engagement and noticed that Karen had an active board, also known as a smartboard or a Promethean board, in her room, but for the longest time she didn't even bother to turn it on. She felt that it was a bit intimidating, so she kept putting off learning how to use it. Lucky for us, our applied researcher was born. In addition to being new to the active board, Karen was unfamiliar with the website IXL.com, a math website that allows students to work at their own pace while enhancing all different types of learning styles by providing auditory and visual demonstrations, word problems, and interactive activities. Since we live in a society that promotes ample amounts of stimulation through various portable technological devices, this would be a great resource for educators to use in the classroom, as well as for families to use with their children. Let's take a quick peek at one type of problematic teaching situation that frequently comes up. When thinking about the issues regarding student engagement that teachers face today, it's sad to say that there are some days when students just aren't on their A game. Sometimes the lack of engagement comes and goes, and sometimes it's a reoccurring experience. In a perfect world, your students will take in, understand, and be proficient at everything that you expose them to. However, we all know that this just isn't the case. Take this scenario for instance. During a lesson, a teacher turns and faces her students. She makes a mental note that approximately 25% of her students are either out of their room, fidgeting with something in their desk, talking to their neighbors, or just plain bored out of their minds. Now picture in your mind what it would be like if this scenario happened multiple times a day. Here are some questions to ponder. What could this teacher do to increase levels of student engagement? Why are these students unengaged and lacking focus? How can she modify the lesson to maximize student engagement? When trying to increase student engagement, these two learning theories, multiple intelligences and brain-based learning, come to mind. Not only do they promote student participation and increase the level of interest, but they also complement each other to create a solid approach to successful learning. With these theories in mind, our group decided to have Karen use an active board to deliver an interactive math lesson using the material from IXL.com. IXL.com is a website that can be used to enhance any math curriculum, which ultimately makes math time fun by providing enjoyable activities that are engaging. The purpose for choosing this website was to reach both the left brain and the right brain learners simultaneously. Eric Jensen claimed that left-brain learners need a lesson delivered in sequence with words and symbols. Right-brain learners need pictures, graphs, and the freedom of choice, allowing the learner to choose their own topic. 2008. In addition to the engaging scaffolding and reliable support, we also decided to use this website because it was a teaching tool that was new to our applied researcher. IXL.com is specifically set up to engage students through activities that can be accessed through an interactive whiteboard for whole group instruction. The website can also be set up on a personal computer for individual learning as well. Another great feature that influenced our decision to use IXL.com was that it allows educators to set up their state standards and receive instant results after each activity. The website says that each teacher can access students' understanding as they practice the standard being taught, and it will generate detailed performance reports that give valuable insight about each student's abilities. After utilizing IXL.com, it is clear that it does promote and engage learning, as well as produce instant results for both the student and the teacher. In the book Brain-Based Teaching in the Digital Age, Sprenger said that interactive whiteboards can replace traditional whiteboards, flip charts, and overheads. They have the added benefit of allowing the user to manipulate or annotate the information on the whiteboard with a finger, a special pen, or a remote device. Students can work together at the whiteboard, or the entire class can take turns participating. Students can move and communicate with each other as they interact with technology. The images can be recorded and saved for absent students or for students who would benefit from repeated instruction. Digital natives find working with interactive whiteboards as interesting as working on their computers. Interactive whiteboards are available from several companies, and you can see instructional videos on company websites or on YouTube. 2010. Additionally, in the article, Quantity versus Quality, a new approach to examine the relationship between technology use and student outcomes, Lay noted that 7th and 8th grade students were given a survey at the beginning and the end of the school year. The information gathered from the study summarized data that indicated the quality of technology, and not just the quantity of technology, had the biggest impact on student outcomes. 2010. Before having Karen begin her applied research, she gave us her pretest data. She said that when delivering a non-active board or technology-based math lesson, 14 out of 18 of her students scored less than 70% on their place value assessment. Here's how Karen's experience went.
This was it, our big segue into the use of technology. The Promethean board was positioned in front of the room, the laptop was hooked up, and I was ready to unveil the most exciting thing to happen in room 326 in many years. We were beginning our unit on place value, 6 digits. I knew how much my class struggled with 3-digit last year, so I was hoping for a small miracle. Student engagement during math was spotty. My 3rd graders were notoriously squirrely. I have the ESE class, and they are busy, to say the least. As soon as the lights dimmed, I had their attention. When I opened my laptop and the projector illuminated the active board, they were hooked. The room was humming in anticipation. They weren't just captivated, they were engaged. I saw right away that the use of the active board was beneficial to my students. My daydreamers were focused, my talkers were intrigued, and were actually talking about academic things. And my strugglers were actually getting it without having to reteach every single concept in a small group setting. I was pumped. After a week of usage, we are all hooked. We had a power outage on Thursday, and several students wondered how we would do math without the active board. Hands were constantly raised. They were doing problems in their math notebooks, problem solving. It has been blissful. I am excited to learn how to use the board in all content areas, but for now, our math lessons are fantastic. I'm excited to have the administration walk through and look forward to showing them how the use of technology has enhanced our classroom, resulting in higher scores on assessments and standardized testing.
In the article, The Wonders of Interactive Whiteboards, Starkman mentioned that teachers are seeing students, more absorbed than ever, are shouting for more. Grades have gone up, suspensions have gone down. The teachers are saying, it isn't about the boards, it's about the learning that is happening. The interactive boards have become a magnet to the curriculum. 2006. After reflecting back on her experience, Karen was definitely impressed and was more than willing and excited to experiment using the active board in different content areas. With student engagement in mind, Karen noted that about 75% of the students were engaged during a math lesson that did not integrate technology, and about 90% of the students were engaged during a math lesson with the integrated technology and the use of the active board to deliver the IXL.com interactive activity. More importantly, Karen's post-test data showed a dramatic difference. She stated that 17 out of 18 students received more than 80% on their place value assessment, showing a significant increase in scores. Arian Wood quoted Mark Well, who said that, "Student engagement is the extent to which students are actively engaged in, actively committed to, and actively involved in their own learning." 2007. After taking part in the interactive math lessons using the active board, here is what some of Karen's students had to say.
I love the smart board because it helps other children learn more and it makes them understand better. Because when the teacher writes it, the children access it, and all they have to do is just draw it or write it.
I like the active board because you don't have to keep sharpening the pencil. And whenever you write on the active board, it shows up on the computer. And whenever you write on the computer, it shows up on the active board.
I like the active board because you can draw on it, like problem solving. You can use the smart board because it lets you see more clear, and it always lets you think that you're smart when you write it in a smart board.
It is clear that technology is becoming more and more important in today's society. Greenblatt reported that Cedar Schools of Excellence, an elementary school in Scotland, is trying something new. It has gotten rid of chalkboards, textbooks, pens, and paper to create what is believed to be the first school in the world in which all instruction is conducted using computers. Last year, more than 100 students at the school competed for time using a total of 12 laptops. Now every student has been issued an iPad. 2010. Greenblatt then continued to say, but access to technology doesn't always improve student performance. To further support his claim, Greenblatt interviewed a professor who stated, "What we've seen so far with technology and the way it's been used in the classroom settings is it doesn't take the place of the teacher," he says. "It can complement." 2010. Our group couldn't agree more. After listening to student interviews and listening to what Karen had to say after her applied research, it was evident that the use of the active board had increased student participation, motivation, engagement, and test scores. However, none of these successes would have taken place with the thorough lesson delivery given by Karen herself. To sum up our whole experience and findings, we would have to say that our research was very successful. When we began our group project, we all agreed that we wanted to improve student engagement in the classroom. Karen graciously offered the use of her classroom to apply the research using her active board as a way to increase student engagement, and she began creating a series of math lessons using IXL.com resources. Once plans were finalized and decisions were made regarding the documentation process of the project, Karen began implementing the lessons using her active board. While Karen conducted her own applied research, the rest of the group did some formal research and developed the layout for the presentation. Karen's reflection and her students' progress clearly showed that the use of technology with a skilled teacher was able to increase engagement as well as the students' interest. The findings of this project reinforce for us the idea that, as we return to our classrooms and lesson planning, we can and should look to technology to help engage and promote student learning during future lessons.